Have you ever seen someone quietly succeed and no one knew how they did it? What happens when you don't boast, don't seek approval yet keep rising higher? Can silence be your most powerful weapon in a world obsessed with noise? Imagine this, you're silently winning at life. You're achieving things most people only dream of and no one even knows how. You're not posting every move, not announcing every victory, not chasing likes or validation. Instead, you're focused, you're calm, and as you continue moving forward with quiet purpose, people around you begin to wonder, how is this person doing it? But by the time they try to figure it out, you're already miles ahead. This is the power of silence, and it's the key to unlocking a life filled with quiet, meaningful victories. Welcome to Stoic Spark, where we explore the timeless wisdom of Stoicism to help you rise above noise, chaos and distraction. In today's video, we'll dive into the art of winning in silence and leaving the world quietly curious about your success. But before we get started, if you're ready to master life with Stoic resilience, be sure to like this video and drop a comment with an empowering phrase, something like, "In silence I rise," or anything that speaks to your inner strength. Part 1. The power of silence in a noisy world. In today's hyper-connected world, we're surrounded by noise. Everyone's talking, sharing, and shouting their opinions, especially online. Everyone wants to be seen, to be heard, to be validated. But what if your greatest power is to say nothing at all? What if silence isn't emptiness but strength? Silence is the ability to stand firm, to guard your peace, to stay committed to your path. This is where Stoic philosophy becomes essential. The Stoics taught us the first thing you must master is your reaction to the world around you. In silence, you gain clarity, you shut out distractions, you reconnect with your values, your goals, and in that quiet space, the real work begins, the work of mastering yourself, your emotions, your thoughts. Others will notice, they'll see the results, but they won't understand the journey. They'll admire your success without hearing your struggle. If this resonates with you, like this video and leave a comment that reflects your silent strength. Something like, "In the quiet, I grow. Let your power be felt even when you don't speak." Next up, why do people talk too much about their success? Let's now explore a deeper truth. Why are so many people addicted to talking, especially when it comes to their own success? You might be surprised at the psychology behind it. As we just explored, the less you speak about your efforts, the more impressive your achievements become. True power isn't found in shouting from the rooftops. It's in moving quietly and steadily toward your goals while others watch in awe as you pass them by. Think about it. When you're always talking, you're leaking energy. But in silence, you preserve your power. You maintain control of your story without having to say a word. If this resonates with you, like the video and drop a comment saying, "I am my own validation." Because when you realize your worth isn't dependent on anyone else's approval, you become unshakable. Part 3. The strength in quiet resilience. Now let's talk about resilience. True resilience isn't about telling the world how tough you are. It's not about constantly reminding people of the battles you fought. It's about staying calm when chaos erupts. It's about pushing through challenges quietly and steadily, even when no one is watching. This is where Stoicism shines. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, obstacles aren't roadblocks, they are the path. Stoic resilience is forged not in applause, but in silence. When things fall apart, the Stoic doesn't panic. They don't scream for help. They don't seek validation. They look within, dig deep, and keep going. Their actions speak louder than any words ever could. That's the power of silent strength. It's unshakable because it's rooted in self-reliance and inner peace. When the storm rages outside, your silent resilience keeps you grounded. If you've ever endured hardship and emerged stronger, like this video and comment, silent strength conquers all. Because once you master the art of quiet resilience, there's nothing you can't face. Next up, dark psychology and the art of detachment. Let's go a little deeper into detachment. and how it relates to the subtle power of dark psychology. When you release the need for validation, your actions start to speak louder than words. You no longer explain. You no longer announce. Your quiet movement becomes your message. While others wonder how you maintain so much calm and control, you just keep moving forward. If this speaks to you, like this video and comment, I am free from external validation. Because once you stop needing to please others, you unlock the power to shape your own destiny. Part 5. The power of focused action. Let's take a moment to focus on one of the most crucial, yet overlooked elements of silent success, focused action. It sounds simple, doesn't it? But in today's world, it's deeply misunderstood. We see it all the time. People running around, ticking off tasks, posting every small step online, seeking likes, comments, recognition. But here's the truth. Success doesn't come from noise. It comes from deliberate, focused effort, the kind that happens quietly in the background. In a culture obsessed with showing off, we forget that real growth happens in silence. True progress doesn't require you to broadcast every win. In fact, the more you talk about your goals, the less likely you are to achieve them. Why? Because you're spending precious energy on validation instead of putting it into real action. This is where Stoic wisdom shines. Philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus didn't chase attention. They focused on the internal, on what they could control, and from that foundation, true action begins. The Stoic view on action is rooted in intentionality. You don't act for praise. You act because it aligns with your values, because it matters, because it contributes to your long-term growth. But in today's world, we're constantly pulled toward being seen. Social media makes it tempting to post every little thought, every win, every moment. But that temptation, it's a distraction. Every time you stop working to post or check notifications, you break your focus. Every like or comment pulls energy away from your task, and slowly, you lose the quiet strength that comes with undistracted action. The Stoics believed in inner discipline. Greatness for them wasn't about fame. It was about doing the right thing day after day. Even when no one is watching, success comes from the work you do in silence. When you act not for applause, but because it's necessary, that's where real strength lies. Up next, quiet persistence, the discipline of action without an audience. Because the journey to greatness begins when you no longer need the world to watch. Focused action doesn't just move you forward, it puts you in control of your life. When your attention is exactly where it needs to be, on your mission, on your craft, on your purpose, you begin to rise above the distractions that pull others off course. The concept of focused action is deeply tied to the Stoic idea of virtue, living in alignment with your highest values, regardless of external praise or judgment. When you act with integrity, when you put in the hours without demanding recognition, when you commit to the path even when no one is watching, you're laying the foundation for lasting success. The Stoic doesn't need applause for every effort, because the real reward is found in the process itself, in the quiet grind, the repetition, the preparation, the inner discipline. Think about some of the most successful people in history. They didn't shout about their every step. Take Steve Jobs, for instance. He didn't tweet every thought. He didn't post progress updates on the iPhone. He spent years building something behind the scenes, and when it was finally revealed, it changed the world. His success spoke for itself. Or look at Elon Musk. Yes, he has a public persona, but most of his work happens quietly, designing, engineering, problem solving, not for the spotlight, but for the mission. This is what makes focused, quiet action so powerful. It allows you to create things others can't even imagine. Here's the truth. The more you talk about your goals, the more you invite opinions, distractions, and self-doubt. But when you work in silence, day after day, you shield your progress from noise. You conserve energy. You build unstoppable momentum. And here's the magic. When you work in silence, you don't just conserve energy, you create mystery. People will wonder, how are they doing this? How did they get so far ahead? The answer is simple. You didn't talk about it, you just did the work. In dark psychology, There's a key principle: the less you reveal, the more power you have. Those who constantly share their goals give away control. They open themselves to doubt, judgment, and pressure. But when you remain silent, your actions become undeniable. And that's what makes your success even more impressive. So what does this mean for you? It means you must learn the art of focused, deliberate action. Every step you take, every effort you invest, even if no one sees it, is leading you closer to greatness. When you choose to work in silence, you don't need applause because your success will speak for itself. But for that to happen, your actions must be intentional and purposeful. You must train your mind to block out distractions and stay fully focused on the things that truly move you forward. It doesn't matter if no one notices your effort at the beginning. What matters is that you stay the course, that you keep moving, even when no one is watching. Remember what the great Stoic philosopher Seneca once said: "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." In other words, the fear of failure, the fear of being judged, the fear of not being recognized. It's all in your head. Don't let imaginary fears guide your decisions. Let your focused and quiet work speak instead. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to like the video and comment something that represents your inner power. For example, focused action leads to success, because the quieter you work, the louder your success will speak. Number 6. Your success will speak for itself at the end of the day. Success doesn't need to be announced. It will speak for itself. In a world obsessed with self-promotion, the true achievers are those who let results do the talking. Think about it. When you finally reach your goal, when you've put in the silent hours, people will feel the impact of your success. Even if they don't fully understand how you got there, Stoicism teaches us that actions matter more than words. What you do, not what you say, defines you. This is where the power of silence becomes undeniable. The more you let your work and results shine on their own, the more impressive and respected you become. People will start to ask, "How did they do that?" And the best part is, you won't have to explain a thing. Your success will answer for you if you believe in letting your results speak. Like the video and comment, let success do the talking. Because once you stop chasing external validation and focus on your journey, the world can't help but notice. Ultimately, your worth isn't defined by applause or admiration. It's defined by what you quietly do every single day. Your value doesn't lie in whether others acknowledge your efforts. It lives in your discipline, your consistency, and your ability to keep going despite the noise around you. And when self-doubt creeps in, because it will, remember, that's the very moment where real strength is forged. The fact that you keep going even when no one sees, when no one claps, when no one affirms your progress, that is proof of a rare and powerful inner strength. As you begin to master your emotions, as you continue to act with clear, focused determination, the results will start to emerge, even if they take time. But here's the beauty in that silence. You'll find peace. You'll come to realize that the journey itself is just as meaningful as the destination. If you've ever pushed through doubt, like this video and comment something empowering like, "Doubt is temporary, resilience is forever." Because when you learn to master your emotions, you keep your focus exactly where it belongs, on the quiet, steady work that leads to real, lasting success. Number 8. Let them wonder while you grow. And now comes the most satisfying part of winning. In silence, let them wonder while you grow. You don't need to explain your process. You don't have to announce every move. Let people watch you from afar, confused about how you're making such progress while they're still lost in the noise. This is the beauty of quiet growth, when you no longer feel the need to prove anything. When you stop explaining yourself, you take full control of your own narrative. People are naturally curious. They want to know what others are doing, especially when those others are quietly achieving what most can only dream of. But while they're still wondering, you keep moving forward, one quiet step at a time. This is Stoicism in action. The Stoic doesn't seek approval or attention. They focus on their path, their progress, and their purpose. They know that in time, their results will speak, and speak loudly. They don't need the world's validation. They simply need the truth, and the truth once revealed is undeniable. When you stay focused on your journey and let your actions speak, people start to notice not because you shouted, but because your success is impossible to ignore. They'll ask, "How did you do it?" But while they're still asking questions, you're still growing, you're still working, you're still building, and your silent momentum becomes your greatest power. If this speaks to you, like this video and comment, "I rise in silence," because while others are still wondering, you already know exactly what you're building. So now you know. In a noisy world, the one who rises the highest is the one who learns to move in silence. And that quiet resilience you've cultivated, it will leave others wondering, "How did you do it?" But here's the thing, you don't need to explain. You've already done the work. You've walked the path without seeking approval. And that, in itself, is power. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. One that might stick with you long after this video ends. The world rewards those who stay silent and do the work. Not those who chase applause, not those who seek praise, but those who simply pursue progress. You don't need to tell anyone your plans. You don't need to boast or prove anything. Your results will speak for themselves. If you found value in this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to continue receiving empowering Stoic wisdom right here at Stoic Spark. And remember, the quiet path is the most powerful one. So keep moving in silence, keep working hard, and let your success leave them wondering. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment below with a phrase that empowers you, something short, personal and powerful, something that keeps you going even when no one's watching. For example, "I rise in silence, no spotlight needed, I shine anyway." Let's inspire one another to keep growing, quietly, steadily, relentlessly. Thank you for being here today. And until next time, remember, in silence, you rise.